Hey guys, Kid Guru here today for the Tech World. And first off, let me say excuse me for my voice. My voice is a little raspy. I do have a little bit of a cold, so disregard that if you can. But anyways, today I got a software tutorial for you guys, and I haven't done this in a while. But this came to me by the way of Lifehacker, a blog I read with great software tips and tutorials. And they pointed me to a software called Startup Selector from these individuals, these individual programmers who can do a lot of cool Windows utilities. So you can check a lot of these out: RAM def, cache set, all these cool ones. But the one I want to talk about today is Startup Selector. As you see here, it says Startup Selector will save or load the Windows configuration data that causes programs to run at system startup. This allows you to easily switch between multiple startup configurations for a myriad of potential purposes. So, as you see, it's really small. It's 55 kilobytes, and it's in a zip folder. And this really does make you really productive because this gives you the ability to quick launch multiple type of setups for your Windows configuration. So you would use a different utility built into Windows like Msconfig or CCleaner to kind of adjust your startup program. So let's say you want to have one a startup set up for work. So you'd start up your email client, maybe a browser, maybe whatever software you work for work. Maybe it's accounting, something like Excel. You get those all in your startup folder, or you put them all in Msconfig, and then you save that configuration. You can have another one for play, so maybe you have a game startup, have Frap startup if you want to record your gameplay, anything like that. You can have different configurations startup depending on whatever you want to do. So with that, I'm gonna go ahead and again I'll give you the link to this in the video description, and I'm gonna go ahead and minimize. And as you see here, I already have the zip folder, and then you can go ahead and extract that, get the installer, let that run. And after that, you're gonna have to go into your programs list and then startup selector. It'll be in your programs list. You can't miss it. You'll be able to see it. So I'm gonna let that go ahead and start up. And there it goes. It's Startup Selector by Mike Lynn. And then another thing you may want to run, of obviously, because the only one flaw, this doesn't have a built-in app manager for startup. So you might want to start up something like Msconfig, or you can use the all-popular CCleaner to configure your startup programs as well. Anything that allows you to mess around or tweak your startup programs, type of utility will work. But I just like Msconfig because it's built in. And again, if you don't know how to start that up, just go ahead and hit Windows key R, type in Msconfig, standing for Microsoft Configuration Utility, and there it goes as it starts up. And then I'm going to pull this alongside. Now what you want to do is you want to hit the startup tab. Now I've showed you this before in the past. This is kind of stuff you can edit if you want your computer to boot up faster. You can mess around with the stuff you don't want starting. For example, I don't want Skype or Tray OS starting when I boot my computer up, so I can disable those. Now, let's say these are the only ones I want really starting up. Maybe I don't want these two things. But these are this is my normal setup of what I want to start up when I boot up my computer. I could go ahead and go here and name this. You can name it backup, or I can say normal configuration, or I say normal config. And I can save that. Obviously, I'm not going to save it right now because I don't want to have to restart and everything like that. Or, I could if I wanted to just make different profiles. So I'll say like normal config. And then now let's say, I want different, other programs to be starting up, like, let's say, for example, Firefox, Thunderbird, all that type of stuff. Another thing you can do, if I can drag my region over here, go to your Start menu, All Programs, and there should be a Startup folder under Windows, so Startup, and it's empty, so you can go ahead and hit right-click and then hit Explore. And then now you have here you can drag in multiple or different applications here. Let me pull back to the main window over here. Now you can have different applications put into here for your your startup. Like I said, you can drag Firefox in your Thunderbird, and then go over here, save the configuration. Maybe you might want to say like Internet config. That way when you start up and then you select what configuration you want, it'll go ahead and boot up all those applications and leave everything else kind of either not running, obviously, or it just won't start up those other programs. And then you can clear it again and then put Audacity, whatever other programs you may want, your movie editor like Sony Vegas, Windows Media Player, whatever you want. You can have a media config. The possibilities are really endless with this. Really, really cool stuff. You can even make backups. So, of course, that was an option. So, if you want to make backups, and you can read here, it's strongly recommended that you save your copy of your configuration as a backup before loading any new configuration. Also, it's not, advisable to share configurations with other computers because one, the other computer may be a different OS and it may not have all the same applications and processes running with startup. So guys, a really cool application that along with Msconfig, CCleaner, really cool thing to load different profiles when you boot up your computer. So if you're just booting up your computer to play a game, you can load your game configuration, get all your gaming software running along with for apps, whatever you want to run. Maybe you want to run some stuff that monitors your frame rates and all that stuff, any stuff like that, or get your even video recording software running, all that stuff, Camtasia, Cam Studio, whatever you need to be running, all that stuff, or just your normal configuration for everyday use. Really cool stuff. Check it out, guys. Really cool program. Again, Up Selector. All links will be in the video description to the right. And don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and check out our website at adriantech.com. Thanks for watching, guys.